same time, we are separated from the higher dimensional realities so that there's no disturbance, let's say, of these pristine realities. And I think it's a multi-pronged and magnificent, the beauty and effectiveness of the system is beyond thought even, because everyone is evolving consciousness-wise at their own pace. And we are using tools, which are our physical body is a tool of our educational system. The very act of being in a body is part of the training, because we have to focus our attention through multiple dimensions, through our mind, through our subconscious mind, through our conscious mind, through our energy body, our astral body, and then all the way down into the physical. So just the very act of having a body and using a body, and very few people are aware of this process, of course. It's an incredible educational system. Every moment of every day, you're operating a biological body, which is essentially a vehicle of consciousness. That's truly what it is. And that's an integral part of our training. And I think it's very important. And this is one of countless training grounds, because there's millions of planets, there's millions of different life forms, and they're all being used as a tool for consciousness to evolve itself so it will be, let's just say, prepared to enter the pristine thought responsive environments of the inner dimensions.
Some of this information overlaps a little with some work that some listeners may be familiar with, done by a lady called Dolores Cannon. And this idea that we're manifesting in form here on the earth, and that some souls may do so more than once. Some will need to return here. Others might choose to. There'll be different reasons for it. How can I put this? If someone manifested back in this realm, in physical form, for a purpose, would they always be able to remember that? How would that remembering manifest itself?
Well, number one, I have found, and I was not a believer initially. I'm not a new age type of person that just buys into beliefs. So I want to make this clear. But I have found beyond the shadow of a doubt that the concept of reincarnation is totally valid, because it's a training ground. You can't learn it all in one trip. It's that simple. It's logical. But let's put that aside for a moment. Our subconscious mind remembers everything. Our higher self knows everything, remembers everything. Nothing is ever lost. So every journey into matter, which is, of course, birth, every birth into matter, we have a golden opportunity to learn by being. We become what we wish to learn. If you wish to experience courage in a pristine environment of the higher dimensions, there's no death. The concept of courage is a philosophical one. But once you enter Earth and you're in a battle, you feel your life is at risk. And the only way you develop qualities of soul or consciousness is to experience these qualities. So in the middle of a battle, and you save your friend next to you by risking your own life, you have experienced courage. And then that becomes part of your totality of your consciousness. This is the training system. This is why the reincarnational process is absolutely essential, because it takes multiple experiences for us to personally experience every major quality of an advanced soul or consciousness. And you can only gain that through personal experience. You can't get it from books. You can't get it from philosophy. You get it. Life is about experience, and life is about having and then absorbing the knowledge and those qualities gained, whether it be forgiveness or courage or self-sacrifice. That is gained through personal gut-wrenching experience. And that's what all of us are doing here, but very few people realize it.
And the realization, when it comes, which ultimately it must. I mean, it's a very powerful thing, because as you're living proof of it, it so changes how your attitude to life and the world and everything in it, and more importantly, to your ideas about death, because death that faces us all, it dominates our lives. You know, even if it's subconsciously, psychologically, it's there. It's one of the great taboos. You know, isn't it the last great taboo, perhaps, certainly Western society, and the realization is fundamentally a game changer.
Oh, absolutely. It's unfortunate that the concept of death is, especially from a religious standpoint, has remained stagnant for 2,000 years. There is people still in our society today fear death just like they did in the Middle Ages. There has been no advancement whatsoever, because people only look at themselves as physical beings, because they haven't had that personal experience. For instance, and that is why I feel so strongly that out-of-body experiences are, I feel, an essential part of our developmental process, because it gives us that absolute verification and certainty that, oh my God, I do continue. I know it. The fear dissolves. And I know it's easy to say this, but I mean it sincerely. I have no fear of death. I have none, because I know it's an illusion. I know from 1,000 out-of-body experiences that I will continue. Matter of fact, it's one of the things I try to write about, is how to enhance this transition through our out-of-body experiences, and how to become more consciously multidimensional, so we can go beyond what is considered the astral plane, or the bardos by the Buddhists. We have the ability to not only remove fear, but to expand the journey of consciousness at this transition of death, and go beyond the consensus realities that is so prevalent within the astral world, the astral dimension, and what, of course, the Buddhists call the bardos, which are what I call the consensus realities. And it's like a giant trampoline that gives us that ability to just bypass a lot of the stuff that other people will, let's just say, experience. But most importantly, at least on the onset, fear is one of the main things. One of the main things I teach, I do a 6-day workshop at the Monroe Institute. And one of the techniques I always teach people is to fly into the sun. Fly into the sun during an out-of-body experience, because it is an incredible, fear is gone. It is so dramatic and so life-changing for people, because suddenly all these limitations and blocks and fears are just dissolved and away. And you realize, I'm immortal. There's nothing to be afraid of. And this is a transformational experience.